Hello friends! Are you ready to dive into the world of the Shinigami, the hollows and swords sharper than a sarcastic comment from Aizen? Today, I bring you an epic, juicy review of BLEACH Rebirth of Souls. If you're a BLEACH fan or just looking for a fighting game that makes you shout Bankai while mashing the controller, stick with me. We're going to break down every important detail. The good, the bad, and what will make you love or hate this adventure. Grab your Zanpakuto, a strong coffee, and get ready for a wild trip through the Soul Society. Let's begin. Imagine this. You're on your couch, controller in hand, and suddenly you become Ichigo Kurosaki, facing off against Byakuya Kichiki in a duel so intense you can almost smell the cherry blossom petals of Senbin Zakura. BLEACH Rebirth of Souls promises exactly that. An experience that throws you headfirst into tight Kubo's universe, with thrilling fights, graphics that scream anime, and a roster that will make BLEACH fans drool like hungry hollows. But does it live up to expectations? Or does it stay at a simple shurikai, when it could have been a Bankai? In this review, I'll tell you everything you need to know to decide if it's worth your time and money. Spoiler: there are awesome things, but also some stumbles that might make you yell, "What the hell, Bandai Namco?" Before diving into the chaos of battles, let's clarify what this game is. Developed by Tamsoft Corporation and published by Bandai Namco, BLEACH Rebirth of Souls is a 3D fighting game. It's available on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC via Steam, and is based on the iconic BLEACH franchise, the manga/anime that had us glued to our seats, watching Ichigo slice through hollows like birthday cake. The game covers the story from the Substitute Shinigami arc to Aizen's defeat in the Arrancar arc, with a story mode that lets you relive those epic moments. Additionally, it includes a versus mode for multiplayer, both local and online, and a mysterious secret story mode, with new content that even the most hardcore fans might find intriguing. The premise? Awaken the sword within you and change your destiny. Sounds cool, right? But let's get to the point. Is it as epic as an Ichigo Bankai, or as disappointing as the anime filler? Let's find out. The positive, where Rebirth of Souls shines like a Getsuga Tensho. If there's one thing Bandai Namco knows how to do, it's filling a game with characters that make you scream. Yes, that's my favorite. BLEACH Rebirth of Souls launches with over 30 playable characters, and the roster is a dream come true for any BLEACH fan. You've got the classics like Ichigo, Rukia, and Renji, but also gems like Tear Halibel with her sexy sharks, Kenpachi Zaraki, the madman who fights just because, and even beloved side characters like Ikka Madarame and Shuhei Hiseiji. Every character has unique abilities that reflect their personality and Zanpakuto, from Hitsugaya's badass ice to Jin Ikamaru's deceptive combos. Want to see Ranjika Matsumoto fighting in style while using Heido like it's a fashion show? You got it. Personally, I went crazy when I saw Neutra Gilga in action. That guy is so insane it feels like he's about to break the screen with his Santa Teresa. Variety is a strong point. There are options for every playstyle, from tanks like Kenpachi to strategists like Byakuya. And yes, there are transformations. Bankai? Of course. Resurrections? Also. It's as if the game said, "Here, fan, take everything you ever wanted." The combat system is one of the game's highlights. It uses a attack, guard, breaker mechanic, think rock, paper, scissors, but with swords and blood. It's not just button mashing, you actually have to think. Every character has unique moves, and the reverse gauge lets you turn the tide of battle with defensive or offensive actions when you're on the ropes. Getting your ass kicked? Activate your reverse gauge, counterattack, and flip fate like a true shonen protagonist. The fights take place in 3D arenas, and while characters are locked onto each other, so don't expect full Tekken-style freedom. You can move through the air or on the ground to find angles. Energy management is key. If you burn through everything too fast, you'll be left as helpless as Ichigo without his sword. I loved how the game makes you feel powerful but vulnerable at the same time. One well-placed hit can end a fight, giving battles a brutal tension. It's like playing chess, but with more yelling and fewer pawns. Graphically, Rebirth of Souls is a treat. The 3D models capture the anime's style with vibrant colors and fluid animations. Watching Ichigo unleash a Getsuga Tensho in high definition is so satisfying I almost cried. The stages, like Soul Society or Karakura, are well detailed, though not revolutionary. The soundtrack is another win. Epic themes that feel straight out of the anime, with that dramatic touch that makes you feel like you're in a decisive episode. And the voice acting, Japanese or English, your choice, features the original actors, so hearing Masakazu Morita as Ichigo or Fumiko Urakasa as Rukia is pure auditory fan service. As of now, Bleach Rebirth of Soul's performance on PC is a roller coaster. Some people run it fine, especially with high-end hardware and a bit of luck. But many are stuck in a loop of crashes and bugs. If you have a PS5 or Xbox Series, those versions seem more stable. On PC, I'd say wait for a patch before jumping in, unless you're a hardcore fan willing to fight bugs like they're hollows. The story mode follows the main plot up to Aizen's defeat, and while it doesn't reinvent the wheel, it's well executed. The cinematics are spectacular, and reliving moments like Ichigo's first Bankai or Aizen's betrayal is pure nostalgia. But what really surprised me was the secret story mode. This mode adds new content, exploring key moments from characters that weren't shown in the manga or anime. I won't spoil much, but let's just say getting more backstory for certain side characters, maybe a bit of insight into Ranjika's past, is an unexpected gift. It's like Tite Kubo himself said, "Here, take this extra because I love you." The versus mode, both local and online, is solid. Playing with friends on the couch is fun chaos, and online matches, at least in these early days, have been stable. There's potential for the community to get hooked, especially with such a varied roster. If Bandai Namco supports it with tournaments or updates, it could become a favorite among anime fighting games. The negative, where Rebirth of Souls stumbles like a drunken hollow. Although combat is strategic, sometimes it feels heavy. The animations are great, but fights can drag on, especially due to the special move cinematics. Watching Byakuya's Bankai is incredible the first time, but by the 10th you're already thinking, yeah, Petal's very pretty, can we move on? This could be a problem in online multiplayer, where patience isn't always abundant. Some players on Reddit have already mentioned concerns about a rage quit problem because of this, and I don't blame them. Let's be honest, Rebirth of Souls doesn't revolutionize fighting games. If you've played other Bandai Namco titles like Naruto Storm or Demon Slayer, Hinokami Chronicles, you'll notice a similar formula: 3D arenas, flashy combos, and a focus on fan service. That's not bad, but it doesn't feel fresh. I wanted something surprising, like a more complex combat system or a unique mechanic that screamed, "This is Bleach," but it stays in familiar territory. It's fun, yes, but it doesn't break new ground. More than 30 characters sound great, but hardcore fans are already mourning some omissions. Where's Yoruichi with her feline speed? Or Urahara with his tricky hat? Yes, there are deluxe and ultimate editions with DLC characters for additional ones. But having to pay extra for obvious fan favorites stings a bit. I get that they can't include all 500 Bleach characters, but some absences feel like deliberate cuts to sell later. The story mode is entertaining, but it doesn't offer much freedom. It's basically a straight line of fights with cinematics, no side missions or exploration. Compared to something like Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot, which lets you roam around and do extra activities, here it's all fight, cutscene fight. The secret story mode helps, but it's not enough for those who wanted something more open. If you're not a Bleach fan, you might get bored quickly. The base game isn't cheap, around $60 US, and the special editions go up to $100 with the season pass and cosmetics. The soul crystals, boosts for attack, defense, etc., included in the expensive editions also smell like future microtransactions. Don't get me wrong, the content is solid, but in a market where there are free fighting games like Multiversus, the price might scare off casual players. I'll put on my honest critic hat and share my experience. I spent about 10 hours with Rebirth of Souls since its launch, and my first impression was, wow, I'm Ichigo slicing through Grimmjow like nothing. The first fights had me on the edge of my seat, trying out characters like Kenpachi, an unstoppable tank, and Hitsugaya, my little ice genius. The combat hooked me with its tension, and the transformations made me feel powerful. But then came the buts. The long fights wore me out a bit, and while the story mode was nostalgic, it didn't give me that feeling of, I need to keep playing. Online multiplayer was fun, but I noticed some players quitting mid-match when fights dragged on. My favorite moment was using Ichigo's Bankai against Aizen, and finishing with a perfectly timed Getsuga Tensho. My most frustrating moment was losing to a Kenpachi camper who just spammed heavy attacks. A fun Bleach game, but not a game changer. In short, I had fun, but I'm not sure this will be my go-to game for months. It's like a good Bleach episode, exciting but not perfect. Bleach Rebirth of Souls is a game that will make Bleach fans happy with its roster, visuals, and anime fidelity. The combat is fun and has depth, and the story mode delivers that nostalgic dose you're looking for. But it's not perfect. Slow fights, a lack of innovation, and a somewhat high price might turn away less dedicated fans. If you love Ichigo and company, I recommend it. If you're just looking for a random fighting game, maybe wait for a discount. This game is like a good bowl of ramen. It has the key ingredients, characters, action, Bleach. But it's missing a bit of spice to be unforgettable. So, what do you say? Will you awaken your Zanpakuto or leave it on the shelf? Let me know in the comments. With that, we've reached the end of this review. If you made it this far, you're a hero worthy of the GOTY 13. Bleach Rebirth of Souls is a game with soul, but not without flaws. I hope this review gave you a clear idea of what to expect. Want more? Check out some gameplay on YouTube, or take a look at community discussions on X. Now, I leave you with a video. Click on it, I'm sure you'll love it. See you in the Soul Society, Shinigami. Until next time. And remember, we are Gamespedia EX, your AI favorite video game source. I'll be back.